In the unfolding story of Judges chapter 4, we find ourselves at a surprising climax. A moment both shocking and profound, loaded with symbolism and spiritual lessons for us today. The tale centers on Sisera, the commander of a mighty and fearsome army, who relied on his 900 iron chariots and the might of his men. Yet, this narrative reminds us that no matter how secure we feel in human strength, God's purposes always prevail, often in ways we least expect. Before we continue, just a reminder to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell. By doing so, you'll stay connected and up to date with future content. Now, let's continue delving into Judges chapter 4, verses 17 to 24, and the message God has in store for us. In Judges chapter 4, verses 17 to 24, the battle has already shifted. The Israelites, against all odds, have routed Sisera's army. Their leader Barak follows the command of Deborah, a prophetess and judge, courageously leading the charge after God promised, "I will deliver him into your hands." But the real twist, the culmination of this drama, comes not on the battlefield but in the quiet corner of a tent, far from the noise and chaos of war. After his defeat, Sisera flees on foot, seeking refuge. He comes, exhausted and desperate, to the tent of Jael, the wife of Heber the Kenite. Why does Sisera choose this place to hide? The Kenites were at peace with King Jabin, Sisera's master, so by all political and social conventions, this should be a safe haven. Hospitality in this culture was sacred. To harm a guest who had sought shelter under your roof would have been unthinkable. Sisera trusts that Jael's tent is the last place the Israelites would look, and, feeling secure, lets his guard down. Up to Judges chapter 4, verse 20, it seems Sisera made a shrewd decision. Jael meets him with apparent kindness, offering a place to rest and soothing him with milk. She covers him with a blanket, shielding him from the outside world. Sisera, feeling safe, instructs her to stand at the tent's door and deny his presence to anyone who comes looking. At this stage, he believes he has outwitted his pursuers. But then comes the twist, a singular moment that defines Jael's legacy and forever marks this part of Israel's history. Jael, armed only with a household tool, a humble tent peg, drives it through Sisera's temple while he sleeps. The commander of iron chariots, the fierce warrior who had terrorized Israel, is undone not by the sword, nor by the strength of armies, but by the hand of a woman and an instrument of everyday life. It's a jarring turn of events. Pitching tents was the work of women in those times. The tent peg, then, was not a weapon, but an ordinary, even domestic object. Something as mundane and unremarkable as a kitchen appliance today. In that sense, Sisera's demise is all the more humiliating. The very thing he could have dismissed as insignificant becomes the agent of his downfall. The pride of a mighty warrior is shattered by the unexpected. A reminder that God can use anything and anyone to accomplish his purposes. How do we feel about Jael's actions? Should we praise her for her courage, or criticize her for the apparent violation of hospitality? The Bible records Deborah's song in Judges chapter 5, where Jael is called most blessed of women. Yet, it's an account that can make us uncomfortable. Jael's actions are controversial. She shows kindness to Sisera, then turns against him. We have to remember, though, the context. Sisera was the sworn enemy of God's people, responsible for their oppression and suffering. In a time of war, and under the unique direction of God's will, Jael becomes an instrument of deliverance for Israel. There is both praise and tension here, and perhaps that is intentional. The story invites us not to simplistic conclusions, but to reflect on the seriousness of opposing God and the unexpected ways he chooses to fulfill his promises. God had told Barak that Sisera would fall into the hands of a woman, and while everyone expected that woman to be Deborah, God had another plan, one that confounded both expectations and categories. Sisera had put his trust in the wrong things. His chariots were his pride and security, yet they became worthless the moment God decreed his defeat. The warning here is timeless. Whenever we make idols out of our own resources, abilities, or circumstances, we set ourselves up for disappointment and sorrow. The very things we rely on can become our downfall. As the prophet Isaiah says, the idols become burdens, a burden for the weary. What we long for, long cherish, can become the very thing that saps our strength and leads to trouble if we put them above God. The story implies that Jael may have welcomed Sisera with the intent to help, but by divine prompting, she recognizes him as the enemy of the Lord and his people. There is a spiritual parallel here too. Sometimes, what seems like kindness or neutrality must give way to ultimate allegiance. God calls us to break ties with anything and anyone that stands in opposition to his purposes if we would truly serve him. The lesson is clear. He who wanted to destroy Israel with iron chariots was destroyed by one iron nail. The weak things of this world, those deemed insignificant, are often what God uses to confound the strong. The entire episode is a testament to divine reversal, where worldly power is brought low and humility, faith, and obedience rise to the occasion. The Israelites had suffered for years under oppression because they hesitated to obey God and drive out the Canaanites fully. There's a warning and a hope for us. Delayed obedience brings pain and consequences, but God, in his mercy, still works redemption. It's better to learn from experience, even hard experience, than never to learn at all. Our God is a redeemer, always able to turn weakness into victory and failure into wisdom. So today, let Jael's story encourage us. No one is too insignificant, no action too humble, for God to use for mighty purposes. Where the world sees only weakness, God sees possibility. And the things we trust in apart from him, even our own strengths, can never compare to the victory he brings. Let us place our confidence fully in the Lord, ready to be used in whatever way he chooses, and celebrate his ability to work through the unexpected to bring about his salvation. If this message resonates with you, take a moment to praise our Lord. Type, "Glory to Yahweh," in the comments as a declaration of praise and glory to our Father for his infinite love, mercy, and patience for us. God bless you.